Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of The Take. I'm your host, as always, Kendrick Dix here. Glad you can join us here on The Take on this Thursday, September 11th, 2025. Join in the conversation using the hashtag Take here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is caring. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here on The Take. Let's get things started right here, right now. Like I said, we're back. We're gonna do it. We know how, but it's been on a somber note. Here is the big story. The big story this week is man, you wouldn't believe what is about Trump. Looks like he's Charlie Kirk. Let's get we have experienced some technical difficulties, but bear with us, folks.
Activist and podcaster Charlie Kirk has been shot during an event at Utah Valley University. The founder of Turning Point USA, a conservative student organization, is known for his outspoken views on politics, culture, religion, often taking his messages to colleges and universities, sparking sometimes pretty heated debates on campus. Let's get right to our chief investigative correspondent, Aaron Katursky. Aaron, what do you know?
Two law enforcement sources confirmed to ABC News, Kira, that Charlie Kirk indeed was shot as he was speaking at an outdoor event at Utah Valley University. You're right, his presence there at the university had divided the campus, according to an article in the school paper, where there were people on both sides debating whether he should even be allowed to bring his message, often loyal to the agenda of President Trump, to campus. But he was speaking at this outdoor event in a courtyard. We've seen some video of that event. A shot rings out. The entire crowd goes scattering. The condition of Charlie Kirk is not immediately clear, but we've seen a tweet from Vice President J.D. Vance saying that he is praying for Charlie Kirk, who he calls a genuinely good guy. And we have also seen a recent tweet from the governor, Spencer Cox of Utah, saying that he's being briefed by law enforcement following the violence directed at Charlie Kirk during his visit to Utah Valley University. The governor's message goes on to say, "We will continue to share updates. Those responsible," the governor goes on to say, "will be held fully accountable. Violence has no place in our public." So law enforcement officials, now the governor of Utah, confirming, Kira, Charlie Kirk shot at an outdoor event as he was speaking at Utah Valley University.
ABC News.
All right, you heard here on the about Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk has passed away. Man, what is going on? He was just like they said, he was a political conservative commentator. He helped lead Trump to victory with the young vote. And young white males out there and young people out there to vote for Trump and his ideologies. And now he was in a rally, and the video, you don't want to see it. I mean, it's out there for your own, but it's horrifying to look at. No one should never go through that. And I know he's a father of two, and he got young kids and a wife. And I mean, it's unimaginable to see something like that and not know that you never know. Walking out that door might be your last. You never know. It's unfortunate, but it was senseless on that end, or whoever did it to him is not worth it. But like I said, I think Charlie Kirk was trying to be on both ends. He was not trying to, you can agree, disagree. This is my ideology. I can respect you. We can find some form of common ground. I think that's what he was trying to do. And unfortunately, it cost him his life. And that's, so sad to hear that he, man, it's just so sad to hear that his life got taken away due to the fact of what happened. And you never want to see somebody, you know, people, like they say, come and go, but at the end of the day, they have to live too, and you don't want to be like that as well. And man, I just feel sorry for him and his family on what went down, but it's so unfortunate to see and hear that and stuff. So, wow. Ooh. We'll get to it a little bit later on in the show. Let's move on to this right here. Let's move on to celebrity news. And celebrity news this week. What other celebrity news we have for you? We'll tell you this right here, that Cardi B saw Cardi B. She did a tease for Jennifer Hudson. I guess Jennifer Hudson needs some viewership, and got Cardi B coming out there as well. So I guess that's their scheme of things. Well, we know that on that as well. So I guess Cardi B's trying to get herself out there and get herself out in the public and stuff like that. Well, interesting to know that Charlie Sheen appeared on Good Morning America. And here's what Charlie Sheen had to say. Take a look.
There was also his very public lifelong battle with addiction. His family staged an intervention when he was 24 years old, followed by his first of many rehab stints in 1990.
He wrote, quote, "I didn't get sober for me. I got sober for them. It was only a matter of time before I'd sneak out of a side door into the alley where all things fun and familiar were lurking on standby." Why do you think you just weren't ready for sobriety at that time?
It's hard to ask for help when somebody else has raised your hand for you. And so I think that was the theme of, knowing it was only a matter of time.
In 1998, you had a overdose.
I did.
My son was admitted here yesterday as a result of a drug overdose.
Your dad turns you in for violating probation. What was that like?
It felt like just the biggest betrayal you could possibly endure.
So you didn't see it as love. You saw it as betrayal.
Saw it as love eventually. But in the moment, it's like when in the book when my bodyguard comes to the bedroom door and he says, the U.S. Marshals are on the way. We're leaving in 5.
Sheen said he was sober for several years until he began using prescription pills while starring in 2.5 Men.
You wrote in the book, as the show wore on, it was 2.5 personalities I had to embody. Sober guy for Chuck, friendly guy for my co-stars and crew, half of whatever guy left over for me, fear guy mostly. What were you afraid of?
With the pills on board, I was afraid of getting outed with that. Because there was a lot of it. There was an AA energy on the set.
So was there shame with you now? All of a sudden, okay, I'm taking pills and I put this out there that I'm this sober guy when I know I'm really not.
Right. Yeah, no, it's a terrible feeling. You got to remember who, always worry about who knows what.
All right, you saw right there Charlie Sheen explaining why he was the way he was, going through rehab and stuff like that. I think Charlie Sheen is a fascinating story. He's a fantastic actor. He's just crazy, but I guess crazy meet the method of the man.
We're very frank.
But his was
about
another
sex life.
Right.
From hiring sex workers.
Right.
You testified against Hollywood Madam Heidi Fleiss. You admitted you spent $53,000 for her services.
Well, that's what they knew of.
Yeah.
That's what they had on the book. So.
But do you think you were a sex addict?
Sure, probably, yeah. If to frame it like that, sure, yeah.
And you say sex went hand in hand with your drug use.
It did, yeah.
And wanting to try, as you framed it, quote, other side of the menu, which for some people out there, they may, what's the other side of the menu? That's sleeping with men. But you said you're being honest about it now. But why did you keep it secret for so long?
Sure. Yeah. Because there was another element to it that it did come with a tremendous amount of extortion. And so at the time I was just like, all right, let's just pay to keep it quiet and just hope it just stays over there, make it go away, just make it go away. And then,
so you were just paying people not to say,
yeah, because they would have had videoed things or whatever and had stuff over me, so that was kind of held hostage, and that's a bad feeling. But again, that's not what I led with. I just led with, all right, people talked about this and this thing and whatever, and so I just need to be free of that, and then see how the world feels if people know that stuff. Because I've written a story all these years about, oh, geez, if I ever reveal that, then this has to be how I'd be dealt with, how I'd be treated, how they'd feel.
In 2015, Sheen publicly revealed that he was HIV positive.
That was a tremendous relief. That felt like, okay, all right, there's that. Now I can focus on some other things.
That was 10 years ago.
That was 2015, you're right.
So how you feeling now?
I feel pretty good.
All right. Charlie Sheen did not know that he went from having drug addiction and stuff like that, sleeping with women, but did not know he's trying to sleep with men. And that caused the effect that he was trying to balance from working from 2.5 men and being at home was a different story. So a different beast animal. Here's another excerpt right quick.
Very frank about your sex life.
Right. From
hiring sex workers.
Right.
You testified against Hollywood Madam Heidi Fleiss.
Oh, that. It's Charlie Sheen just being Charlie Sheen, just being crazy as crazy can get. So I guess him knowing his truth and living his truth, that's Charlie Sheen for you. Well, we get to this right here. We get to this right here. Talk shows. All right, on talk shows this week. What a talk show this was is Tamron Hall did her show. And
are you ready, JFM? All right, here we go. We've got the sound right here. Okay, so we're about to recite the sound of the summer. Audience, the words are right there behind us. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. And right now, you can say... Oh, that's me. It's safe to say your job is secure.
Hey, the lady said that nothing beats the Jet 2 holiday. I've been hearing it all throughout on TikTok and stuff. I'm like, who says that? And then the song or music comes playing after folks do some stupid, idiotic stuff. But I mean, now we know who the voice behind the voice. It's her. Nothing beats the Jet 2 holiday. So I guess with the Jet 2 holiday and stuff. Well, on the Drew Barrymore show, Drew Barrymore welcomed Issa Rae. Issa Rae had a lot to say. Take a look.
I loved reading this story that you and your mom and the things you used to sneak. I was like, this is my life right now.
I went through a rebellious phase, and that's also why I was scared to I'm scared to have girls because I know what I was doing, and it wasn't great. I hope my mom never watches this, but I was a nerd for sure, but I was boy crazy, and I had a boyfriend in high school, and I thought my mom was a teacher, so I knew her schedule because it was it matched mine, and so I would sneak my high school boyfriend sometimes to spend the night because I knew when she would wake up, and then he would just sneak out, and there was one time where I just had a feeling, and he was sleeping over, and I woke up in a panic, she's coming, something's gonna happen. She's gonna come in early. And I tried to like tell him like, get up, get up, get up. He was like, what? I was like, go. I feel like she's gonna come in here. Go hide. And so he goes to go hide. But like, imagine the bed is here and the door is here. He goes and just stands there and closes his eyes and thinks like, and I was like, no, go hide to the bathroom. And I kid you not, he runs to the bathroom. My mom opens the door like, what are you doing? And I was like, huh? I was so ready to go to school. And she missed him. And she missed him by a second, seeing him, and he was able to escape out the back. But to this day, that was like when I was 16, I still get scared because it would have changed the trajectory of my life. If she had caught a boy in my bed, I would probably not be alive.
You'd still be grounded.
I still would be grounded.
Oh, Issa Rae being fast, huh? I mean, Issa Rae, did not know that. You would have thought Issa Rae was the total opposite, but she was trying to be out there and be fast. But she said that if she would have been caught, she would have been grounded. I don't think you would have been grounded. You would have been just that. But I guess we'll never know. But Issa Rae, wow. She did not know that. Issa Rae brought a boy into... Well, there was some girls do in high school. They do that stuff. So ain't no shocker, ain't no telling, ain't no surprise about that. But it is what it is. But anyway, we'll be back with more tape. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Stick with us here on the tape. Welcome back to the Take. I'm your host, as always, Kendrick Dix here. Glad you can join us here on the Take on this Thursday, September 11th, 2025. In the conversation using the hashtag Take here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is caring. Tell a friend, call a friend. Hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here on the Take. Like we said, this is September 11th, and we want to pay tribute and pay remembrance to the people that lost their lives on that grateful day in 2001. Man, I will never forget it. It'll be a day that'll live in infamy. And I can remember where I was when I was there. I think I was in middle school and watching it. And all of a sudden, news happened that the towers had the Twin Towers had got attacked and stuff. So you never forget a day like that, regardless of what. So let's remember that in remembrance and stuff like that. Well, we get to this right here. The political rundown. The political rundown this week. Man, oh man, you won't believe what this. I just hate saying this. This nickapoo, this moron had to say. Take a look.
Free DC! Free Palestine! Trump is the Hitler of our time! Free DC! Free Palestine!
All right. You see right there, the president getting called out. And man, I don't think he didn't even expect this. He kind of like told them to get these hecklers out. And that's what did President Trump, along with his Vice President J.D. Vance, along with Marco Rubio and the rest of a lot of folks coming out. Let's hear what this message right here.
It's not my signature, and it's not the way I speak. And anybody that's covered me for a long time knows that's not my language. It's nonsense. And frankly, you're wasting your time. All you do is trying to get off the great success of DC and about 200 other things we've done that are so successful.
All right, you heard right there from President Trump talking about the Jeffrey Epstein situation. I think the president saying, hey, why is y'all bringing this up? You know why they bring this up, man? They just trying to find something to kind of get this man going. And I think that's what we were saying. And like we said here, the rundown and stuff, the political rundown this week. Like we said here, they're trying to find this man just to find something to get this man off his trucker. I can tell you that right now. I'm trying to get him to commit, but he ain't committing once come back and say, all right, I'm back. Boom, boom, shakalaka. We're here. Well, like I said, that man, President Trump, on what's going on with him. So, hey, we see what's going on with him. But his health secretary, Bobby Kennedy, taking a lot of heat. Let's take a little Bobby Kennedy went through right here.
This is an existential crisis for our country. We have 128 recommendations, things that we're going to get done before the end of the year.
The Trump administration just released its strategy to make our children healthy again. They say that childhood chronic disease rates have been rising because of 4 things: poor diet, chemical exposure, lack of physical activity, and what they call over-medicalization. Now, today's report is a strategy of how they plan to address those, and it's filled with favorites of Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., things like vaccines, fluoride, and ultra-processed foods.
We are focusing narrowly on nutrition and metabolic health, food quality, cumulative exposures, gut microbiome, precision agriculture, and mental health.
Public health experts have been sounding the alarm on Kennedy's moves on vaccines for some time, but experts in the nutrition world have applauded that he wants to focus on making food healthier. But they tell us that the strategy doesn't lay out a solid plan for doing that. On ultra-processed foods, for example, its plan is to establish a government-wide definition. What one expert told us is a, quote, distant goal.
Oh, sorry, folks. I'm biting my lip. Sorry, folks. I'm getting back in my habit again, but that wasn't done yet. But the Trumpster still had this right here.
This is allegedly President Donald Trump's signature on a letter from Jeffrey Epstein's birthday book. We went back and compared it to signatures around the period in question. While Trump's signature looks more jagged than the loopier Donald on the Epstein birthday letter, there are many examples of him signing his name in a similar way around that time. Take, for example, this 1999 signed letter to former CNN host Larry King, or this 1996 letter to then New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani. There's also a 1997 inscription in a Trump book that Epstein owned. All feature a loopier style, followed by a long tail coming off the final letter D in Trump's first name. It looks like Trump may have signed his name in this style when the subject matter was more personal, like this 2014 letter to former MSNBC host Keith Olbermann. Trump repeatedly denied writing to Epstein after the House Oversight Committee received its first documents. Those included the birthday book that contained the letter from the estate of the late convicted sex offender.
Did you not write a letter for Jeffrey Epstein's birthday? I don't even know what they're talking about. Now, somebody could have written a letter and used my name, but that's happened a lot.
The White House and prominent Trump allies maintain the signature is not Trump's.
There's no auto pen that can do that. Right? Look at that, Pam. Is that a good signature? Seriously, is that a good signature? Who can write like that? Nobody.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt was asked if they'd share the results from a professional handwriting expert to prove the signature was not President Trump's. Here's how she responded.
And in fact, I have already seen many forensic analysts of signatures coming out. I believe it was the Daily Signal that published a piece with 3 separate signature analysts who said that this absolutely was not the president's authentic signature. And we have maintained that position all along. The president did not write this letter. He did not sign this letter. And that's why the president's external legal team is aggressively pursuing litigation against the Wall Street Journal, and they will continue to.
Oh, man, come on, really? That's his signature, regardless. I mean, come on. You just don't want to be tied with the man. You know the man, and now you don't want to be the man since he's been almost about a couple of years since his death. Now y'all don't want nothing to do with him. Y'all want to distance yourself from him. That's your signature, Donald. You know it is. Stop acting all crazy with it. But that's Donald Trump for you right there. All right. We move on from that craziness to Newsies. On Newsies this week. And on Newsies, man, this is a story that, you know, me and perhaps the president do agree on. You got to watch this story. A refugee from Ukraine just coming from work, and all of a sudden She gets on the bus station and she sees her last days. You won't believe, unbelievable. Let's take a look.
It's just before 10 p.m. on August 22nd, and 34-year-old DeCarlos Brown Jr. is seated on a Charlotte light rail train. Several other people are around him. According to officials, a few minutes later, the train doors open, and 23-year-old Irina Zarutska gets on and takes a seat in front of Brown. She's wearing what appears to be a work uniform, AirPods, and looking at her phone. But then, the unthinkable happens. You see Brown pull out what officials say was a pocket knife. He unfolds it, then stands up behind Zarutska. What we aren't showing you is the moment where Brown then stabs Zarutska several times and walks away. Here you can see Brown trying to get off the train, and then a few people spring into action, attempting to save Zarutska. She would die from her injuries. Meanwhile, Brown, who has removed his hoodie, waits for the train to stop. And then you see him exit. Officials say it appears that Brown and Zarutska did not know each other, and a motive for the stabbing remains under investigation. According to court documents, Brown has a criminal history dating back to 2011, including robbery with a dangerous weapon and other offenses. Charlotte's mayor, Vi Lyles, released this statement on X, saying in part, "This was a senseless and tragic loss. My prayers remain with her loved ones as they continue to grieve through an unimaginable time." Brown is charged with first-degree murder and remains behind bars. Skyler Henry, CBS News.
Wow, unfortunate news like that. You never want to see nobody go through that. She just coming out from work and you killed. You know what? You that dude, whatever you get him cold and severe. If he got to get the penalty, let him have it, because that was just uncalled for, unjust, just craziness right there. You won't even expect that from a person like that doing something like that. And I mean, come on, man. Why would you even put yourself through that? And she wouldn't mess with you. I get you wouldn't mess with her, but then y'all didn't know each other. And why would you do something like that? It prompts you to like think of stuff like that. That sometimes they're not thinking and they need some help. And he really needed help. And I think hopefully he gets the help that he needs, because that was just totally uncalled for, and it was uncalled for that. On another news right here.
And Bader just unloads on this one. Deep left field, and that one is gone as Bader goes back-to-back with Brandon. What a long home run to left for Harrison Bader.
All right, you saw right there that lady taking that ball. They call her baseball Karen. She took that ball away, and you tell right here she was trying to get the ball. The dude was trying to do the right thing. He called it, he called it for his boy. And you see right the lady right here, back talking about that was her ball. Lady, that's her boy. Let him have that ball. Get your own ball. But the man said, "Here, you have the ball." And the lady was being a Karen. You tell right here one more time. She just was in his face trying to say, "That's my ball." And the dude said, "Here, have it. He'll have it." And the boy, lucky for him, the organization gave the boy a ball, a baseball bat, everything. The lady was being, you know what? And I say that here on the take. She was being there. Go on, lady. Go to your walk of shame. That's what you is, a walk of shame. Lady, you wrong for that. You could have let that boy have that ball. In baseball games, I mean, what's it to you? I mean, I guess she wanted it more than he did. So, it's just unfortunate with stuff like that and what people will do for a baseball bat. Well, before here on news as well, right here.
Y'all didn't waste any time.
We wasted no time. We've been together since our first date, actually, since I was 19 years old.
Oh my gosh, look at y'all, you're babies.
Yeah, I feel like relationships are not one size fits all, and so it's not you just know when you know,
right? And
you can't go off of anybody else's playbook,
right? So y'all met at church.
We met at church youth group, 14 and 15 years old. Yeah.
And did you think he was cute?
I thought he was so cute. He was so cool. He was the cool guy at church.
But don't you think he also thought you were gorgeous?
So I didn't know. I know that now because he's told me. But I didn't know it then.
Yeah.
And so it's just, again, like you just never know what's going to happen in life. And so it's important to try and live in the moment and see where life takes you.
What do you think you guys have that have made it like this beautiful relationship and created this incredible family?
I think a mutual understanding of each other's needs and desires, and then just like a willingness to communicate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
decent, semi-decent communication.
Yeah,
skills.
you just got to try to talk. That's so right.
All right, you saw right there, Ayesha Curry appeared on the Jenna and Friends show. We know that her husband, Golden State point guard, point forward, Stephen Curry, NBA champion. They my age group or something like that. I guess they are. But they talk about their love story. It's been almost 20 years of them being together and having a family of 4. So here's another thing what Steph did right here, surprise Ayesha.
I think what's Joe is looking at the other damn
Happy couple for Stephanie and Ayesha Curry. They're the couple that bills to go, work to go. So happy for them. They kind of like went through it all, and look at them now. So hey, Steph and Ayesha Curry in the situation at hand and stuff like that. And we get to this right here, the viral video of the week. Man, we went through a lot right here on the viral video of the week. And what a viral video of the week it was. I mean, who would ever have thought and imagined that you go into a city council meeting and you see this?
What's this?
All right, what is that going on? White dude can't. Well, they said white man can't jump, but white dude trying to break dance. Here's what he had to say during the city council meeting that got people going like, "What the world?
Why did our taxes go up so much? We were told the referendum was going to bring it up for an average household about $400, I think, and mine went up like $900.
What the world was he doing? Was he pop locking and dropping and all that stuff? Can we see it one more time? You can tell right here. Look at him. Look at him. Just beat popping, just dancing. It's like getting down like he on Soul Train. You thought he would love American Bandstand, but he probably was watching a little bit TRL 106 in Park back in the day. Said, ooh, and started doing that. I guess he started seeing Def Jam and stuff. He kind of took it there, but I better recommend him. He wasn't recommending on nothing. He was just trying to pop, lock, and drop it, and trying to get the crowd going and buzzing. They wasn't feeling it. You know how they go. They wasn't feeling it. He was trying to get them motion in the ocean and stuff like that.
Why did our taxes go up so much? We were told the referendum was going to bring it up for an average household about $400, I think, and mine went up like $900.
Like I said right here, he took it, he moved away, shimmy on down, doing Michael Jackson. Maybe you looking at Michael Jackson and Shalimar and the Pop Lock dropping on Soul Train dancers. And he said, ooh, I could do that. And he trying to do it. And look at him. He started turning around, doing the Soul Train line. And look at him. Trying to, dude, stick to what you do best. Just talk about the rest of man and get on way. If you can't do this and do that, you was trying. Just he ain't got no rhythm. You got to have rhythm. You got to have, like that, shake, lock, and dance and stuff like that. He was trying. It just wasn't enough for him. But hey, unfortunately, even the president said this.
Questions swirling around President Trump and his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Just moments ago, the president weighed in on an alleged birthday letter and drawing written to Epstein.
It's not my signature, and it's not the way I speak. And anybody that's covered me for a long time knows that's not my language. It's nonsense. And frankly,
like he said, that's not your language, man. Stick to what you know. Do that. All right. Thank you all for watching this edition of The Tape. This has been a long edition tape, but it's been a good one for season 10. I've been your host, Kendrick Dix, saying so long. We'll see you next week for another edition of The Tape. See you later.